Okay, welcome back to our Triple Threat Challenge here on Zabby. It is April, and there's not really a ton for us to do today, so we're going to see what we can get into. We obviously have the option for us to be able to do those 3 contracts if we want to do them, and honestly, it's what we've been trying to do, right? We've been trying to do all 3 of them every month as much as we can, because that's the limit that we have. But overall, we are sitting in a pretty good shape here. We're just kind of waiting for things to be ready, and it's going to be a while, obviously. We've got currently 3 fields. All 3 fields are in relatively good shape, with the exception of the field that we recently bought. It does need, well, either to be sprayed or to have a weeder put through it. We don't have either one of those. They also did put tram lines in here, which I hate, but, you know, it is what it is. So we're going to have to do something to get rid of these weeds here. Now, there's a couple options for us. Well, first of all, Used Market has a sprayer here. It's a fantastic sprayer, but it's very expensive. It does have the ability for us to be able to turn on the other information, like this weed spot spraying, and then the pulse with modulation. So if you're turning and things like that, it doesn't, you know, put down more than it needs to, right? But they're outrageously expensive, as you can tell. To put both of those on is crazy. It's not a bad price. 54% off the original price. It's not a bad price, but it's a 33 meter width, and that's a great width, but I'm not quite sure we need that large of a sprayer for this map. There are certainly some fields where it would be useful, 100%, but most of the fields aren't that large. So I don't think I mean, it might be a little overkill. Could we use it? Yes, but it might be a little overkill, and we would probably start running into, like, the trees here, right? We would start having a little bit of issues because of that reason. So as much as it would be nice to have it, I just don't think it's the smartest play right now. A generic weeder, the small weeder, I should say, is $6,500. We can do the manual weeder. I'm trying to stay away from the manuals in this series since we were utilizing those pretty heavily, at least early on the Island Preservation series. Other sprayers, there is this one which we've used in the past. It is a fantastic sprayer. I really do like it. Might be the one to go with. Very inexpensive, right? It costs us $10,000, so it's about what it cost us for the weeder. So I guess the next thing to do is look at what do we got contract-wise. Okay, so there's a hoeing contract, but again, that's different than a weeding, so it's not going to do the same thing, unfortunately. Another deadwood contract, a sowing contract, and a wood transport. There's not a whole lot from a contract perspective out there right now, so I think personally, I want to focus on that field that we purchased in the last episode and try to take care of it. So the way I'm going to go about doing it, although maybe not the way that you think I should, who knows, is to go with the sprayer. So we're going to go the spraying approach. Fenders. I mean, I don't really want to pay an extra $500 just for some fenders. Same for the lights. I don't care that much. Does it cost money to change the color? It does. I don't know. I think I might just leave it the standard colors because I really don't want to pay an extra. I mean, even though it's $50, I know it's not much, and in the past I know I've spent $50, $100 here and there like it's no problem, but I don't really care that much about the color of this one. It's already got a yellow color to it, so it already partially matches what we're trying to go for. All right, we'll buy it. So $4,950. It's not cheap. And then we're going to buy this because it has to go on there. If I want to do the same thing with the weed spot spraying, it bumps it up astronomical. I'm not going to worry about that. Again, with this, I'm not going to worry about that either. It's just too expensive right now. Maybe later on, if we want to upgrade it, maybe. But right now, it's just way too expensive. It's not even worth it. So how's everyone doing today? I hope you're all doing well. We're going to head up to the shop and pick that up. And we've got to buy some actual liquid fertilizer, too. Or liquid fertilizer, herbicide, sorry. Let's go with the Cortiva. I don't normally use the Cortiva for herbicide. So that was a lot of money we just spent, right? That was near it makes no difference. $12,000 we just spent. Not cheap. But I think there will be some spraying contracts that will come up in the future. Some herbicide type of contracts, so we can utilize this for that now, right? So it gives us another out for the contract perspective, which is a good thing. But yeah, hopefully you're all doing well. It does sound like we've got some relatively bad news again. It's going to be another bit of a hiatus on the one-tile challenge. It looks like we've got some more conflicts of schedules, I guess is how I'll put it. So we're going to probably have a hard time getting an episode out. Let's see, is this coming out? This coming out Thursday? So I think we're going to have a hard time getting one out this weekend. We probably will have one the following weekend. But I'm just kind of warning you ahead of time. There's unlikely to be one Saturday this week. I think this is coming out on Thursday. If it's coming out not on Thursday, I'm sorry. But we'll have a replacement for it. It'll honestly be either this series, the Island Preservation series, or maybe I throw in a second episode of the Can You Survive 25. But it'll probably be this one. Probably this one, honestly. It'll probably be this one. But we'll see. Anyway, there'll be a replacement for it. It's just, you know, we're in a bad time right now. We've already mentioned that a couple of times in the past. It's just a rough spot right now for the guys, more specifically. I'm not saying I don't have my own issues sometimes too. I certainly do, but I'm a little more open than they are right now. So we will see. But regardless. All right, so it only holds 200 liters. Oh, there we go. I forgot the other tank. That's just there's a tiny little tank. I keep forgetting about that. There's a tiny little tank back here. You can see it for the sprayer, but then it's connected to the big tank, right? But yes, I've used this thing many times, actually. We did actually utilize it briefly in the series that just ended, the Skyfan Aqua Farm series. We only used it like once or twice. Before that, we utilized this in our Vintage Survival series. Very successful series. A lot of people enjoyed that series. We used it then. This is a older machine. I think it's from the 80s. I think. And for that series, it was, you know, had to be kind of vintage or classics that you could utilize. You couldn't use anything new. So this was our bread and butter. It was a very similar type of map to this. This map has bigger fields than that one did, but a similar type of map to this one. So I think this will be a perfect fit. Now, obviously, this field right here to the left right here, this big massive field, that would absolutely 100% have a good use with the item that is in, the sprayer that's in the used market right now. But for most of the fields, that thing is, it's overkill, right? It's overkill. So I think this was a better approach. And it gave us a little bit of money. Now, you know, you saw the contracts. There's not a whole lot of money out there contract-wise, but we should be able to pay for the herbicide, which is nice. So that means whenever we do another spraying contract down the line, it's already paid for there. So we're just going to be able to utilize that to kind of offset some of the price we just paid for this. But overall, for a sprayer, I should say, it's really not a bad price. We spent some money, but it's not a bad price, right? It's not. Chickens are doing well, by the way. I don't think we talked about that. The chickens are doing well. They're not at a puberty stage yet, so they're not really producing anything yet. But probably 2 or 3 months from now, they will be. And since we bought them for, as you know, baby chicks, right? Where we really spent like no money at all getting those set up, right? So. There's a couple fields over here to the right. Looks like they also need sprayed, so maybe we'll get lucky and some spraying contracts will pop up after we utilize or after we do one contract. That's the reason why I don't like to select all the contracts immediately that I'm wanting to do. I like to kind of do one at a time, just in case something does pop out there. It often happens. It's happened already on this series. So, ooh. All right. Let's turn on the GPS here. All right, we should. Yeah, it looks like it's killing him. I see some dark spots there. So we are working well. I don't know which way I want to look at this. I mean, maybe this way. I don't know. Maybe like that. That looks pretty good. So the unfortunate portion is what we just talked about, right? It's spraying the entire field, even if it doesn't need to. It would cost me $40-something thousand to go the approach of just, you know, spot spraying wherever it needs to, which would save you a lot of herbicide, but that's $40-something thousand. That's a lot of money. Later on in the series, we absolutely will probably work to fit that in on this 100%, but not right now. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense right now in my eyes. All right. Let's see. What else? What else do we got? I don't think I have much else, actually, which is surprising, but yeah, things are going well on the Island Preservation series. We've started to turn a corner there, I think. Really have, truly. We're actually getting away from some of the manual stuff, and it's not that I specifically, you know, wanted to a certain extent. Some of the things I did, but we're starting to make money, right? The modification we did, and you know, the push, the approach to go for close has severely helped us, or significantly helped us, right? We now have a planter and a seeder, both fantastic. Both ones I've used before in the past, though, but you know, we're in a different situation there, so I'm going to use them. And then we've got a stone collector, which I'm extremely happy about. I got some reward points, evidently. Okay. I don't know what I was doing to get reward points. Maybe just spraying so many fields. I don't know. Anyway. But the stone collecting is going to be nice, right? Because we're going to be doing that for the entirety of the series. And, you know, with the stone collecting, the big problem there is we really can't do anything with that, with the exception of utilizing it for our dream home that we have to build, which is part of the actual series, right? That's really the only thing we can do with the stones. I can't put them in a production of any sort, turn them into lime. I can't really do any of that, unfortunately. Don't think we really need to spray this, but I'm going to hit it anyway. I'm just going to top it up one more time. So we can't really, unfortunately, do any of that, which is a bit of a shame, because that could make us a good amount of money, right? If we were able to put all of that stones into a production that turns them into lime. We put the lime into pallets, and then we sell the lime. Lime's not worth a ton of money, but you know what? It's better than just selling the stones outright. But yeah, that's obviously against the rules, which I thought it was, but I had to double-check that statement with Crestu. All right, so that's done. We used up an okay amount of herbicide there, but you know, it's not terrible. Not terrible. One thing we need to work about. One thing we need to do soon is put down some kind of a shed. We have no shed at current. Everything's just kind of sitting out in the elements, and we really don't want to do that the entire time if we can help it. So soon enough, we're going to have to do that. Alright, we'll do a quick autosave. We did get a few other things out here. There's 2 hoeing contracts now. The deadwood's still out there. A weeding contract is out there. Wood transport, the sowing one's still out there. I'm going to start with the deadwood. I know I've been doing this often, but it is easy money. It's only $750. It's only 5 trees. It'll take us a few seconds. So let's go ahead and do that one. We'll just jump on over there, all the way in the top right corner. Boom. And visit. All right, there's one right here. This is going to pay, I don't know, probably about 33% of what we paid for the herbicide. I just want, like, the reason why I'm waiting here is I want a contract that is a little bit larger today, if we can get one out there, for something that we have, right? If we have to lease something, we have to lease something, but I don't really want to lease something. I want to utilize my own equipment for it so we get a little bit of extra money. Normally, it's not a ton of money. I get that, but I'd still prefer to have that extra $600, $800, $900, whatever it ends up being, right? All right, we've got one more we're missing somewhere. I've missed it. A lot of you were saying start at the bottom and then head up, and that's what I was trying to do there, but I guess I didn't do the best job of that. I guess the easiest way to do this actually would be go like this. Here it is. Well, that's just kind of in the middle of the air. How am I supposed to cut that one in the middle of the air? What? How am I supposed to cut that one when it's in the middle of the air? How am I supposed to cut that? How am I supposed to cut that? Oh, that's a glitch. I don't know how I'm supposed to... okay. Let me just make sure there's not another one, and that's the only one. Because I'm not sure how I'm supposed to cut that. Yeah, that's that's it. That's the tree. How am I supposed to cut that? Let's see if I don't think it's going to do anything, but we'll just see if it resets it if I leave it and come back. Where was that? Here it is. Nope. How are we going to cut that, gang? Okay. I think I'm just gonna have to cancel this contract, and we're not gonna count it because that's we're just gonna have to cancel it. Well, that kind of sucks. Well, we got a bigger sowing contract out here, which is actually a good thing. So we need to put spinach. Ooh, I don't think ours does spinach, does it? I'm almost positive we don't do spinach. I think we need a planter for that. I'm like 99% positive this does not do spinach. Oh, it does do spinach. Okay, never mind. All right, we'll do that then. Okay, I thought for some reason, I don't know. I don't ever use spinach. That's part of the problem, I guess, but... All right, so we'll do this one. This one is on the other side, so, and it's not really worth anything. So we'll do this one. I need to unload the fertilizer here. There's no reason for us to put fertilizer down. It's literally just a seeding contract. We're just wasting fertilizer by doing that. We probably are going to need a little bit more seeds, though, than what we have. I'm going to buy some more seeds. I don't think we need a ton more, but we need a little bit more. And actually, it might be enough. It probably is, but just to be safe, I don't want to drive there and then have to drive all the way back up here or to the shop just to get more, right? I don't want to do that. Okay, well, I couldn't really stop it that fast, but, you know, that's fine. It was only $450. That's fine. We're going to use it anyway, right? So we're going to use it. All right, so we've got to go all the way down to the south here. This is a far drive. Get all those flaps closed. There we go. All right, so far down to the right. I don't know the fastest way to actually get there. It looks like there might be a little turn-off road that we need to do before we get down to like where the gas station and everything was, if you recall. All right, well, we'll figure it out. Let's get this done. This is going to be a nice couple $1,000 for us. All right, well, that contract's all done. I just decided to pull it up really quick to see if there was another sowing contract that had popped up besides this one. Maybe down in that region there wasn't. A lot of other contracts have popped up here, though. A lot. So there's stone picking that we can do, which is pretty decent. We probably should do that one. It's going to make us somewhere in the range of $3,500, which is good. The weeding contracts are really good. I feel like these two are probably the better choices to go with, just because it's only $640, so it's a little bit cheaper, and we're going to get $5,000 out of that easily, right? So that's pretty good, right? That's pretty good. There's a fertilizing contract. I'm not really focused on that. It's too small. Same hoeing contracts. The deadwood contract is back, but it's a different location. Very inexpensive, though, $750. So yeah, let's do these weeding contracts. We haven't done that yet on this series, so let's do those. Both of those, I think, make a lot of sense. I don't really love the tractor that we're going to be utilizing here, but, you know, we've got some involvement with this tractor, let's put it that way, right? But it should be all right. It should be all right. So this is a pretty big field. This one also relatively large, so it will take a while to get these done, but you know what? I think it's worth it. So let's borrow this one, because it's going to be a bigger setup than the other one is, a bigger rig setup than the other one. So we'll do this one, borrow. And then I'm actually just going to go ahead and grab this one too. We don't want to lose it because it's a decent price. We already talked about that, right? And since we're already leasing, or borrowing, I guess I should say, because you're not allowed to lease in this series, but borrowing, you know, the weeder already, we might as well do this one too, right? So this will kind of complete the 3 contracts we're allowed to do for the month. All right, let's head down here. This is the bigger version, though. This isn't the small version, which is what we were utilizing in our competitive one-tile challenge, so it should be a little bit better overall. The gear shifting, I would assume, is still pretty awful. All right, we've got no beacons of any sort. And the first one we're going to come to is 155, and then we've got the big one at 150. Just straight up the street from there. This will be good, though. This is a wide width here on this. I don't know exactly what the width is of this, but I would assume it's at least 9. So it shouldn't be a terribly long process to get this done with that size of the width of this. It might even be a little bit larger than that. I don't know. It's pretty wide, though, right? It's pretty wide. So I know we just did a time lapse, but we're going to just jump straight back into it. We're going to get this done. And yeah, we'll see how long it truly takes us to do this. It shouldn't take as long as you might be anticipating with the size of this. It really shouldn't. All right, that is all done, so we'll turn these in. This will be nice. The way I look at it now is we really only paid about $5,000 for the sprayer and for the herbicide that we put into it. So, pretty nice, right? Pretty nice. Okay, so those are all the contracts we can do for today. So even if there's some better ones out there now, which there probably is some decent ones. Yeah, there's a couple out here, but it doesn't matter. These are the only things we can do at this point. So, the only other thing really we can look at this point is if we want to maybe consider buying another field. I don't think that's the smartest thing to do right now with only $25,000. Most of these fields are pretty expensive anyway, right? So if we were to buy one, it would be a relatively small one. Can't even buy that one. And while these are inexpensive, they're pretty far away. I don't really want to spend the money on those right now. So I think having said all of that, we're going to leave the episode at this point. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash the like, subscribe button in case you've yet to do so. Thanks to my members for all their continued support. If you want early access to videos like this one, there is a link down below where you can check out what you get for becoming a member on the channel. Make sure you check out my second channel down below, doing playthroughs of Tomb Raider Underworld and Red Dead Redemption 2 at current. Discord is down below. Share anything that you're working on, video, live stream, images, whatever. Have discussions all down below in the Discord link. Yeah, I think that's all I got. Thanks so much for watching, gang, and I'll see you next time.